How can I resist? Ain't looking for nothing
Nothing
but a
but a
good
good
and don't
time.
get better than this. Woo! Woo!
All right, before we begin, let's thank our great sponsors, and we've got some good sponsors. Now, remember, if you would like to be a part of the process, I would love to have a conversation with you. Sponsoring the BPX, the Bailey Podcast Exchange, just reach out to me via jasonbailey.com. Let's start. Inspect All Pest Services. Inspect All Pest Services providing the highest quality termite pest and wildlife control. That's not all they do. Inspect All can take care of your insulation, your pressure washing, your gutter maintenance, and other home services there in the metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. InspectAllServices.com. Also, thanks to Inspect All Pest Services for sponsoring all of our guests on the BPX. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora with the Aurora Law Firm, theauroralawfirm.com. Best damn defense attorney in the land. He litigates all over the United States, based out of Georgia. Criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. Theauroralawfirm.com. And if you have a legal question for the Mad Dog when he visits the BS, please go to jasonbailey.com and get that to me now. It's Ridgeline Counseling with Dr. David Markwell. If you need help, get help. He's got 10 therapists who work with him there at Ridgeline Counseling, 3 different locations in the state of Georgia, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains, in East Cobb, Marietta right there near the square, and McKaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But if you're not in those areas and you still need help from the best in the business, that'd be Dr. David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. He does virtual sessions, which are extremely helpful, and you can set that appointment up at markwelltherapy.com. Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia, family owned and operated. They are a Generac generator dealer, offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. And each and every one of you, 2 peers, when you become a customer, you get an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract, offering flexible financing, semi-annual and annual service contracts for existing installations and warranty repair. They have an A+ rating with the BBB, and you pay nothing until the job is complete, and you, the customer, are very, very happy. Call or request a free home assessment. You can go online, poweringgeorgia.com, or you can call 770-853-7571. Don't forget, use the discount code Bailey, and you get $500 off your entire installation. Servicing Georgia and Tennessee. MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower of Atlanta. Beautiful, affordable bathing solutions. MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower. They're a local family-owned and operated company committed to enhancing your bathroom experience in Metro Atlanta. They provide high-quality, safe, and affordable walk-in tubs and showers, focusing solely on installations that elevate your home's comfort and accessibility. They service all of Atlanta, Georgia. Like I said, family-owned and operated. No commission sales guys. There's no hassle when you deal with MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower of Atlanta. No high-pressure tactics. Go to their website and see the work that they're doing. Gen Xers, having them parents finally move in, and you're going to help them out, and you got to redo all that. Don't do it yourself. Go with the best in the business. These are the pros. MVPWalk-ins.com. Or you can call 404-493-6888. Mention the BPX, get $2,000 off. Again, mention the Bailey Podcast Exchange, BPX, or any of the shows, and you will receive $2,000 off from MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower of Atlanta. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa, administering ozone therapy or activated oxygen therapy non-invasively through what is called the Hocket sauna. Also offering red light therapy, halo therapy, pressotherapy, PEMF, as well as naturally in-house made ozone-infused products online, like that magnesium butter. AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com to book your appointment or to shop all of the products for Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, as well as the brand new Alive Ozone Therapy Spa app. If you are an Apple user, go into your app store and just search Alive Ozone Therapy Spa. If you're an Android user, search Alive Ozone Therapy Spa, order and book online. Again, if you are a business and you want the BPX, the Bailey Podcast Exchange, to help your brand, there's so much more than just advertising when it comes to this world. I'd like to have that conversation with you. Reach out to me, please, via jasonbailey.com, and let's chat. With that being said, let's begin.
I think we should do a podcast about rock and roll. And that's some stories.
Yeah, let's do it. Welcome to the Vinyl Road Podcast.
All right, there it is, episode 24 of the Vinyl Road Podcast. It is a podcast about rock and roll, stories from the road, life, and everything in between, all on the BPX. That is the Bailey Podcast Exchange. 3 different shows, 5 days a week. All your details, jasonbailey.com. Don't forget, Tuesday and Thursdays, those are sub-episodes, sub-button on jasonbailey.com. All right. Thanks for being here. My name is Jason Bailey. There he is, beanie cap and all, Mr. Brad Stewart. How are you, buddy?
Rock and roll.
Big applause.
That's good, man. How you doing? Back.
Chill Will's in the state of Florida, dude. We're getting some winter weather.
Shit, man. I woke up, my fucking house, at least up here, it's like 59 degrees. So I just turned the heat on just to kind of get it a little warmer up here, man. I'm full beanied out. I got like warm socks on and fucking slippers and shit. My feet are still like ice. I like fucking ice blocks down there, dude.
Snow pants on. We went to Alabama to go see my daughter at the University of Alabama, and we were so excited, because we were going up there, we're tailgating and all that good stuff, and we were just thinking, I'm taking jackets, I'm taking beanies, I'm taking hoodies and sweatshirts and all kinds of stuff. I was hoping for that, chill, like 50-ish degree weather for tail. I mean, it was hot as balls.
What?
Yeah, it was so hot, and then the next day it got chilly. And I was like,
the Arctic blast hadn't hit yet. I mean,
no, we were a day late for that one.
31 degrees for Jacksonville. I mean, shit, bro. And we hadn't had really. I mean, it was like 50s at one point, and then but it's still warm up to like 70. But 31. That's a game changer, man. I can't, I have my top off in the Jeep, and I'm like, fuck. You have to bundle up, man, if you're riding around in the 31 degree, and what I'm saying? No, it's crazy.
That's what people in Florida that don't live in Florida don't understand. Like, we get a chill spell briefly, during winter, and that's when all Floridians go and buy a jacket. They're always like department stores. They go and they buy a jacket, but it's cold up until about 9:30 in the morning. Then after that, it gets hot again. It's not like when you live up north where it's cold all day long. It's cold in the morning. You got to put a jacket on. 9:30, it gets hot. Then you got shorts and a t-shirt. You got to change. You're
peeling shit off, but you're too pasty white though to wear shorts. So you can't really go there,
I don't know. Yeah. All right. So do you like playing, like when you guys perform and stuff, is it kind of like an athlete, where it's like, man, I hate playing in the cold weather. Does it matter when you're on stage?
It does. Actually, I remember in the Fuel days, we did a show up in Park City, Utah, little bit up the mountain from Salt Lake. Right. And it was for this, it was like a slalom, like a downhill skiing event, right? And it was fucking. It was snowing. We were playing outside on a stage, and it's snowing for these people, right? And I'll never forget our guitar tech at the time, Rob Starr. He was warm. He had the heater, and he had all the guitars and shit with him. And we're like, well, I'm glad he's warm. Fuck the rest of us. We're standing out there, and it's literally. I mean, there's nothing to really warm you up. So then he'd hand us the guitars, and they'd go from that nice warm area to the freezing cold. So then they'd all be out of tune. And so it'd be like, hold on. And so we'd be, scallions would be up there. And we were like, bro, yeah, because there's very sensitive to temperature. Of course, the string's going to expand or contract depending on, the temperature, right? So everything was out of tune. So after every song that we had a guitar change, we had to sit there and tune them back up to match the cold. Yeah, it was. But yeah, so absolutely. I mean, when it's that cold outside, dude, like your hands are freezing up, and you just try to jump around and go as crazy as possible to stay warm.
Or just don't book Winterfest 85 anymore.
Well, we did that show in North Dakota quite recently, and I'm like, this is North Dakota, like North Dakota. Whose idea was this again to do this outside? What the fuck? There was like a place, an indoor spot where all the cows. It was like a fair type situation. I'm like, why aren't we inside again? Like, what the fuck, man?
You couldn't even get the indoor stage at the cow festival.
Yeah. Well, it was actually, they were having a derby going on the outside, smashing into each other and shit. So, but still, the thing was open. I'm like, why? Why out here? Fuck, because places like that, when the seasons change, they change. It's
Yeah.
like that's it. That's it.
I couldn't do that. Like some of these bands, especially that are from those Arctic states, and they're used to playing outside and all this stuff. I just,
No.
not my thing, man. I'd be free. I mean, you're like, I can't even. I'm not instrumentally sound anyway, but your fingers in the cold, and you can't wear gloves, right?
Gloves, yeah, especially the guitar players, because you need to hit. They just get in the way. So you're kind of.
And
As
even
a
the
bass, I
singers.
could kind of. Well, yeah, the singer too. I mean, that's.
I mean, like think about like your breathing, and in the cold weather, it's a lot more difficult to breathe. I know maybe that I'm overthinking about that, but even athletes will say that, if you're sitting there and that's a workout to be up on stage to do an hour plus set, the
Yeah.
cardio and the breathing, and that's a lot of work, man. People don't give you guys the credit you guys deserve. It ain't easy to go up there and do that. I can tell you that right now.
It can be challenging, and of course, that's the one where everyone's got their phones up. Fucking us all, and you're like, man,
Right.
can y'all not film this one? just enjoy it. Just watch the show, please.
It's funny.
know.
I remember when I was living out in Sacramento a couple years ago. I went and saw Depeche Mode, and they were playing. They're playing indoors, and it was fine. But I'd never seen Depeche Mode play. Right, and not that I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan, but Depeche Mode is one of those bands like REO Speedwagon. Even if you're not overly familiar with their catalog, you go and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? And the guy from Depeche Mode, whoever it is, the lead singer, like this dude's brilliant because, and I never thought about this before with the Depeche Mode music, is that he's not screaming. There's no overexertion with any of the songs or any of the lyrics. They're just like borderline saying he's got a good sound, interesting, unique sound, and all that stuff. But you look at artists, especially from like your generation, as far as Shinedown, Saliva generation, Fuel, early 2000s, there's a lot of push from the back. Look at Brent from Shinedown. I mean, arguably one of the best lyricists in the past 20-ish plus years, right? But his vocal range is ridiculous. You get guys that scream, the screamers. There's no way you're going to be able to do that type of music when you're 56. Well, you are now 60, 70 years old up on stage, right? You can't do that music.
I mean, night after night, man, I don't know how some of those guys do it, really. I mean, even at a younger age with that guttural sort of growl. I mean, for an hour and a half or whatever at night, I mean, even Ozzy was like, fuck, how about one show and then a day off? Maybe 2 shows in a row and a fucking day off. I mean, he was that shit, if you're singing your ass off and if people expect you, of course, for it to be money, every song, every note needs to be in there. But if it's not, they're like, man, it was all right. Fuck, you gotta live up to that shit, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard enough to play the instrument.
Well, think
let
about
alone sing like that.
Think about like Jonathan Davis of Korn. Are you ready?
Yeah,
I think that's tracks now, probably.
I just saw him, dude. I think it was live. I mean,
Live?
we were side stage, and I mean, he was doing it, dude. He's cruising around in his kilt, and he's kind of. I think he was smoking weed on stage. I mean, I don't think he drinks or anything, but he was smoking something on stage because he had his back to the crowd, and then he turned back around and
Well,
he went back to it.
He can do that legally.
Oh yeah, that was Sacramento. So yeah. No one's gonna say shit.
Not an aftershock. I remember when I first got into rock radio, one of my introductions to the rock and roll lifestyle was at what was the big show in the early 2000s? Metallica, Biscuit,
like the Monsters of Rock or something.
Summer Sanitarium tour.
Yeah.
Right? Was that it? So it was Metallica, Biscuit, Linkin Park, Deftones. I think that was it, right? And it was the old Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. We're like at the very top in this room of nothing. And, I've got my little mini disc thing, which was a thing back in the early 2000s. And Chino comes up from the Deftones and I'm interviewing him. Now, this is my first like introduction into rock and roll and big festival stuff. So I've been drinking. I'm thinking that's how you do it. I'm not even thinking about being a professional broadcaster. Thinking about being on rock radio as a rock star. That's my thing. So I'm drinking, and he comes up and we're talking and we start doing the interview. He lights up a joint. And now I'm high as I'm interviewing him. I'm like, this is awesome, right? And this was like at noon, during the day.
You gotta pace yourself, bro. Yeah, learn that shit real quick.
There's more to that story for those that have listened to me over the years. Everybody knows that there's more to that story because the James Hetfield situation later down the road, and one of the most embarrassing interviews that I'd ever done because he had just gotten out of rehab, and I was interviewing him drunk as my mini disc recorder ran out. That's the short version of that story. But that was a long day. But these guys, I don't think you guys, you tell me, it's the sex, drugs, rock and roll is not really a thing anymore, right? You guys are trying to stay as healthy as possible, not smoking and drinking before you go out on stage, right?
Some people still do. But I think it's definitely a lot more tame than it ever was. People, you see a lot of people, at least in our circle of bands, where they're like, yeah, I'm sober, or they're at least California sober, where they're like, they don't drink anymore, do cocaine, but they smoke weed, or that the old California sober thing. But it's definitely well, it's you don't see people like having meltdowns as much. Wes had his run from Puddle of Mud for a bit there, but Ronnie Radke will say stuff on stage, but I don't think he's drunk. I think he's just kind of goes off on rants and shit when shit pisses him off. But I think in our band, no one really drinks too much before. Maybe a drink or two before, maybe one during the set.
I think country artists are more rock and roll than rock and roll artists. They're drinking all the time. You look at Morgan Wallen, he's going to the stage, which I love the walk-up idea. I think that whoever came up with that, absolutely freaking brilliant. It's like the old Goldberg days from WCW wrestling. And you don't know who he's going to have. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But those guys are drinking. They're partying. They're having a good time. They're drinking their Jack, and their Tennessee whiskey. That's what they're drinking. Rock stars don't have that image anymore. Guys have lost it, the country.
Yeah, I think when the emo thing, those kids came along, it kind of ended. Yeah, straight edge stuff. It may have ended that, and I don't know, man. Yungblud's bringing it back. He did you? I think I may have sent it to you when he was like, "This is my first drink at music festival," and then it goes into, "This is my ninth drink," and he's getting fucking hammered, dude. And then by the 17th drink, they're knocking out of his hands and shit, and he's all over the fucking place, dude. That shit cracks me up. We need more of that, though. That's rock and roll. That's cool to me,
Yeah,
he's getting wild and shit,
What do you get? 3 nominations, Grammys?
He did, man. He did. I had pulled it up earlier, man, and
so here's my concern. Here's my concern with Yungblud. My concern with Yungblud is that he's going to become. See, there's a fine line of, in my opinion, being a true rock star. I don't think that you can be a true rock star anymore in the sense of a true rock star lives in the rock bubble. They are anti anything else and don't want to go outside that bubble. You can't do that anymore if you want to make a living in the rock world. You know that better than I do. You have to go mainstream. You have to be on the TikTok. You have to cross over to top 40 radio. You have to make as many friends as possible. You can't rock the boat. Yungblud has got checks off every box of awesome, but he's larger than being a rock star. So once you become larger than being a rock star, you're oversaturated and you're doing all these different things. Rock stars live in a bubble, and the mystery is part of the fame because you don't know what they're going to do or where they're going to do it.
Yungblud, he's kind of at a risk, I guess you'd say, for overexposure, but I think, he's been around for longer than people may be aware of. And now everything's like he just came out of nowhere. But and in some ways, I guess it seems that he did, but he put out a really good record, that last record. And it's, it's up for Idols is up for best rock album. and he's up against people like Linkin Park. I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously, whether he's overexposed or not, people are paying attention, and people like it, and people are flocking to it. His U.S. tour sold out in under a minute, wasn't it? It's fucking.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
insane.
so yeah, I don't think he's too worried about it. I don't think he should be. I think you just keep putting out good shit and hope, and he's in good hands. It seems like with his management and his team. So, but yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, I think it's unstoppable at this point. I don't think people can ignore it or even hate on it, man, because he's a real motherfucker. He goes out there and he hugs his fans, and he's hanging with Steven Tyler, making, badass songs. And I mean, and he's out there touring. He's doing it. I mean, he's fucking doing it, man. I mean, that's something that rock and roll needs. I think you need a guy like that to come along and bring attention back to our genre of music, man. And that's exactly what he's fucking doing, man.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm definitely not hating on it because I'm a fan. But the problem is not the problem, but you just will never have the true rock star anymore. I mean, the true rock star, like Axl Rose, for the most part, I think is a true rock star, right? He never crossed over. He never went and did reality television. He didn't do, American Idol. He didn't do any of that stuff. He very rarely does interviews. He's just Axl Rose with Guns N' Roses. That's cool. But, Steven Tyler, crossed over to the mainstream. There's nothing wrong with that because you're making a living, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying about the true rock star?
Yeah, but when he did Idol, though, he didn't have to split the money 5 ways.
Oh yeah. Well,
so there was some things he was like, yeah, I mean, he did pretty well as a songwriter and throughout his career. But when he did that show, he was like, I got me a home in Hawaii now. I mean, and good on him for fucking stepping out of that shadow of Aerosmith and being Steven Tyler. And I mean, he was always a standout guy anyhow, but like to do so in a different medium for him, I mean, that's cool for me, man. I don't know. And he still, to me, it kind of like raised him up even higher, like as far as his profile as a rock star in my head.
Did you see the best metal performances or best rock performance? No, I'm sorry. Best metal performance. Spirit Box is up for a Grammy.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a band, and they're a good band, by the way, really, really good band. But I think they were like third on the list when they went out with Shinedown. They were
out with Biscuit too at one point. Spirit Box. Yeah. And we've been getting around here. We've been getting into Sleep Token quite a bit. That's a great fucking band. If you're not into them,
my kid loves Sleep Token.
You love them. Okay, good. Yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude. Like that's something like I feel like is from an artistic standpoint. They're like, I mean, you can hear influences like Tool and Deftones and shit like that, but even like Rick Beato, you know who Rick Beato is, right? He had some production on the first Shinedown record, and he's like he became like a YouTube superstar. Well, what he'll do is on his show and his podcast, whatever, and on YouTube, is he'll analyze songs. He'll break it down. He'll get on the piano and be like, okay, this part, okay, that's a sus 2 chord. He'll get into like the theory of the song. And he had Sleep Token. Look it up. It's like a 4-part thing if you're just looking at clips. And I think it was that song Emergence.
Oh, really?
And he's just like, fuck, man. Like these choices are so just moody and cool and tasteful and just different, and the way the melody and the beat and everything. And he even talks about how the vocal is going through like an auto tune, but it's not pitch correcting it. And it's not like affecting the timing of it either, but it's still going through like a filter that gives it this like this cool fucking effect like that. No one's really doing that shit, man. So, and of course he gives kudos to the producer of the last record for them, the Arcadia record from Sleep Token. But man, it's almost like it's like an experience. It's like when you listen to like Pink Floyd and shit. It was more of like, just listen to a song and then the hook's here and it's catchy and then you're on with your life. It's like, it's almost like not like a seance, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, go listen to that record, dude. It's really like moving too. Like you fucking believe the guy too. I mean, I don't know. And then it would go into like a part and it sounds like a fucking like jazz or something. You're like, where did that come from? And it was just heavy as fuck, like tuned down to A and shit a minute ago, you know?
When did Tyler, the Creator, become alternative?
Oh my
Best
God.
alternative music album.
Oh, I see. Wait.
Tap the Glass, Tyler, the Creator. I mean, that's cool. Good for you. But I like,
Oh.
I guess alternative music is different than what I remember it being. I don't know.
No, look at the other people in that category. It's nothing like
The Cure,
Tyler, the Cure. I mean, Bon Iver. That's like, you ever listen to the Garden State soundtrack? That's super duper alternative. That's pretty deep shit there. I mean, as far as alternative goes, I've never heard of Wet Leg. Have you heard of Wet Leg? What is that?
No, I looking at nominations for award shows depresses me because it shows how out of touch I really am. Like I just don't know. But I will tell you this, and I know this for a fact. I don't know for a fact if the Grammys do this, but if I were to guess, I would say yes. It's very politically motivated. There's a reason why when you're watching an award show and you have an A-lister that might not show, that normally wouldn't show up, they're there to get their awards. Like there's a reason that people, like, very rarely when someone wins an award, they're not there. There has to be a really good reason for it. So
if they're on the road and the dates conflict and they're in Europe or something, but then they have them,
satellite. Oh,
yeah. Oh, what a coincidence. They had the camera ready just in case they won. And then they fucking win and they thank everybody and shit, you know, or whatever. Yeah. Or it's pre-recorded. I'm out here doing it, you know, thank you guys. I mean, I don't know. Didn't Billie Eilish like fucking like totally dip and she won like 10 awards that one year? I was like, you might want to be there for that one. I don't know. That's fucking, I mean, she was nominated for, I guess there's some shit you just can't get out of, man. You know?
I know from the radio standpoint, some of the smaller award shows that are put on by radio driven companies, there's backdoor deals that are done where it's like, hey, look, this next year we'll support this album, but you've got to do some free shows for us. In return, we're going to give you the Happy Cheesy Award or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to get all kinds of publicity because the internet tomorrow is going to say, fill in the blank, won 5 awards at this award show. And it's going to help it's all a work, you know, everything in life is a work. I know of some specific situations that I won't share, but with specific artists, the deals that they were cut and that were done with certain radio companies. I mean, I don't care the way it's business. It just doesn't matter. It's just important for people to know that the shit's not real. Like
I mean,
the awards are not real. That's all. That's important.
No. And that's why I think people like Eddie Vedder was like kind of, yeah, you know, he was like, my dad would be, I don't know if you remember this, way back when Pearl Jam won, I guess it was for 10, I think. And Eddie got up there and was like, you know, I think my dad would have appreciated this, but he was just like, I don't make music to win awards. We make music because it inspires whatever. We're doing it for our own reasons and it's not to get up here and win awards, but thank you everyone. It was kind of like a kick in the nuts for people that
Better dad. He references dad.
He told it. He just was like, my dad would be so proud of this or to be stoked about this for me. But like, he just didn't really.
Eddie Vedder didn't know his dad, right? That's what Alive is all about.
I think he did, man. Look at, or maybe he was referencing if he knew, I don't know, but I thought it was kind of bizarre myself.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I know Alive is about his dad because I can relate to it growing up as a bastard. So I didn't know that. Yeah. But a lot of, again, that's rock and roll, right? You know, is saying, hey, look, we don't care about the awards. It doesn't mean anything to us. We're just here to perform, you know. That's rock and roll, but that's not what this is anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Have you ever been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland there?
No, I've always wanted to go, but I've not gone.
I mean, it's cool. You go through there and there's exhibits and there's shit. And then there's the wall where everyone signed the wall. And I mean, it's cool, but I mean, and one day, shit, man, I'd love to be in that conversation. I mean, because Shinedown here, I guess 2028 will be in the conversation, be eligible at least, because Leave a Whisper came out in 2003.
Mhm.
It's a 25-year thing to be eligible, but I mean,
That's correct.
hopefully, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get in. I mean, Soundgarden just got in. I
Yeah.
mean, fuck, they've been eligible for quite some time, I'm pretty
Well, there's
sure.
plenty of bands that have
You know,
not gotten in that should get in. I mean, there's a
it
list.
took Skinner. I mean, year after year, I'm like, what? Skinner's not in here? What the fuck? That's fucked up, man. I mean, and we actually just went and saw Skinner
I saw
in
those
Jacksonville.
pictures. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man, they were great, dude. I mean, it was they sounded great. We were, of course, we're connected to the family, the Van Zants and stuff, so we got to hang out with them backstage. We did the meet and greet and shit. I actually got to walk on the Jaguars practice field.
Oh,
It's
really?
like this indoor thing they made for the Jags, and it's because it was still hot, but it's air conditioned and it's a nice facility, man. That's
Is
where they did the meet and greet. There was like hundreds of people for the meet and greet.
is Michael, was it Michael Carter, the drummer still? Michael Carter?
Yeah, it's an Italian name, I think. What
He's
is
also
it?
an artist, a very talented artist.
Fuck.
I've interviewed him a couple times. He's great, phenomenal dude, like really
Yeah.
cool ass dude. But he's a great artist. Like his artwork, he does these shows with his artwork, and he's a cool dude. Because there's no original members anymore in Skinner, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, of course, Johnny was the late Ronnie's brother, and Ricky Medlock actually originally played drums for Skinner. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
And then he left the band and started Blackfoot, which are you familiar with Blackfoot?
Yeah.
And he played guitar. So it was kind of interesting when he came back to Skinner, but as as one of the guitarists. But man, they were wailing, dude. I posted part of the Freebird performance, man, and that was just really cool to see. And it was also, when a band gets to that stage in their career, you're like, are they gonna sound good? Or are they gonna sound like a bunch of old dudes up there? And they were money. They were ripping those solos. Johnny's vocals sounded great. They had the honkettes, of course, back there.
Yeah.
Singing, the background vocals and shit, and of course every song I'm like, okay, yep, give me 3 steps. Okay, I know a little. Okay, of course, Freebird, and like every song is a fucking badass song that the song, every word of the song, you even know the notes to how the guitar's gonna go and shit, man. So it was great, man, and of course their hometown, the folks here in Jacksonville for us, that's a big deal for good old Jacksonville, and it was for I think St. Michael's Soldiers was part of it. So there was a charity thing involved, and we had gone actually to an event called Rockin' for the Cure a couple days prior, where there was like silent auction, and there was some celebrities in the house, myself included.
They roll out the red carpet for you.
Not really. I had valet parking. That was pretty cool. But no, but like Doug Flutie was there. I'm like, how fucking random is that? What is Doug Flutie doing here? He didn't even play for the Jaguars. Like his fucking Buffalo Bills, right? And shit. But he's cool. Like, he was cool. He was hanging around, and some local celebs and shit around. It was kind of cool. But I think they raised $150,000 over.
That's awesome. That's really good
That night. So it was great.
When did Skinner get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because they just had what did they just had the latest Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? The ceremony.
They did. So Soundgarden, of course.
Yeah, Soundgarden.
No. They played at it. Yeah. So it was I think Taylor Momsen got up there and was it Rusty Cage, I think, and then Brandy Carlisle got up and did fucking Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
And Jerry Cantrell was up there and shit. Dude, that was cool, man. And most people don't know, but Ben Shepherd wasn't the original bassist. It was Hiro Yamamoto, this Japanese guy.
Yeah, the one that just kept talking about politics.
He did.
Fuck up, dude. Oh my God, you so ruin the moment. Like, it makes me hate bands when they ruin the moment with their bullshit. Yeah. Shut up. Save it. Read the room. Save it for a different time.
It was long. It was a lot too. I'm like, bro, you could have summed this up in like, because then it's like people are looking around like, man, that's when they start cueing the music and shit. But you don't want to be rude, like wrap it up. Come on. And then the other guys wanted to talk too. And I mean, he wasn't even in the band and after Louder in Love, loud, you know?
It was his receipt. He was like, watch this.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna have to deal with me for the next 3 or 4 minutes to fucking just I was talking about like fucking I guess his parents were like in Japanese concentration camps. Did you hear this? Did you see? I mean,
I don't want to hear about your politics when you're at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you're in Soundgarden. I want to hear about the 90s grunge era and the band, and I want to hear about you shooting up with heroin and wearing plaid shirts and Doc Martens. I don't want to hear about your politics.
No, I know. It was cool though. His daughter got up there and with Jim Carrey. That was cool. Jim Carrey was, dude. I love Jim Carrey, dude. He's fucking awesome. Like he cracks me up, and the fact that he had history with him. They gave him that guitar, that telly that Chris played on Saturday Night Live, and that's cool, man. Like he was totally a bro.
Did Ann Wilson get up there? Was she there at all?
I think she was,
because she's got the connection with Chris Cornell. I had a really interesting conversation with her a couple years ago, and we talked about her relationship with Soundgarden and Chris Cornell. And because I had no idea until he passed. And then, you start to, hear and see things. And like when you grow up, whatever genre of music, especially if you're a rock fan, right? You live in this bubble of rock stars, especially rock stars, especially the 80s and the 90s. They hate everybody else. It's just us against the world. But that's not the case. That was never the case. It's never been the case for the majority. There's so many crossover relationships. It's just a matter of being artistic and being an artist and being creative and respecting other people's work. Just don't be a dick. So like Ann Wilson and Cornell had such a great, even that whole Seattle scene.
I was going to say Hart was from Seattle. I mean, all those guys, they kind of, when Alice in Chains did the Sap record, she sang on one of the songs, and I think the same one that Cornell sang on. Are you familiar with Sap? It was after Facelift, before Dirt. They released, and it was like a quiet thing. They didn't really promote it a whole lot. They just kind of put it out there. It's like a 5-song acoustic sound of shit. Got Me Wrong's one of the fucking. There's some great songs on there, man.
It's a good song. Got Me Wrong. I
fucking love that shit. But yeah, man. So that I thought that was cool that they kind of stayed true to their bros in that scene, and they were all on each other's records. And if you notice, Matt Cameron was like, thank you, the Melvins and Mudhoney, and even the bands that didn't really have breakout, careers. Those guys were heavily influenced though from those bands, those Seattle bands like Mudhoney and even of course Andrew Wood and Mother Love Bone was a huge.
Well, he's the guy. He's the guy.
He was the fucking guy, dude. He was bad. For me, as far as originality went, that dude and that band, that was something special, man. And it's so crazy it got cut short like that, man. Because of course, in the half of them end up in Pearl Jam, and that becomes one of the biggest bands of our lifetime. So
can you imagine being a baby band in the 90s, growing up in that Seattle, Aberdeen kind of area, and every night, it was Seattle Sunset Strip, right? It was the equivalent of the 80s, where you have Guns N' Roses and Poison and Warren and like all these bands that popped in the 80s. They're playing every night at different bars on the Sunset Strip. Seattle was the same scene, just out of nowhere, and you had bands that never made it. Can you imagine being in one of those bands and every night partying with Vedder and Cornell? Cornell and Cobain, and just
Lane Staley's around, and he's crushing it. And if you know any of the story, the way Jerry tells it about Lane, he was in other bands and shit. And Jerry's like, no, you need to come join our fucking band, dude. And he had to kind of corral him into the band. And of course, he finally came over to it. And even though Jerry was the main songwriter, Lane contributed just immensely to that band. Just he wrote Angry Chair. He wrote some badass songs too. Lane, all Lane and shit, But yeah, he was such an in-demand singer, Lane was, and thank God he made the jump to Alice, because
but you would think that after a while some of these guys would be like, we got something, we're kind of a thing. Maybe I should lay off of the pipe or the needle You know, it's kind of a thing. But then you look at guys like Eddie Vedder, right, who have openly talked about wanting to take his own life numerous times. You know, I would think that like fame, you know, once you get to a point and your time is kind of come and gone, it's very difficult to appreciate and kind of marinate in the success when you're not really creating anything new that is as creative as what was once that you created, if that makes any sense. So like you get to that kind of that stale area and you're that big of a deal. That's tough, man.
It is. And, you know, people, I remember when like Pearl Jam would keep releasing records and everyone was like, how about something a little bit more like the 10 record?
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, but in that band internally, I think the songwriting shifted away from Stone Gossard. Stone Gossard was fucking he was the guy. He was the guy early on in that band's career, if you ask me. That, and Jeff Ament too. That was the sound and the uniqueness of that band and the songwriting. You know what I'm saying? And Vedder wrote lyrics, of course, but once it became shifted to all Eddie, and it was Eddie's kind of, okay, here comes Eddie's songs, and that's what we're playing because that's our guy.
Right.
It was less about, I don't know. It was less. It just wasn't as good. Not as good. It just wasn't as.
It was folk. I mean, he was doing folk music.
It's folky, yeah. It just wasn't the. I should say it wasn't. It just wasn't Pearl Jam to me at that point, man. And I fucking missed the old shit, man. I mean, they had so much energy. Even flow. You watch the video alive. Jeremy, even I know they hated how much that was played.
Yeah,
that's why they stopped making videos. But I mean, because remember, dude, you couldn't escape that shit for a minute there. It was like,
well, before Jeremy, okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm right on all points here. When Pearl Jam popped, they openly said, we are not going to do a video unless it's us performing live.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy comes out. So it's like the first of the jumping of the shark. And Pearl Jam's one of my all-time favorite bands. And as catchy as Last Kiss is, their version of Last Kiss, and the story behind it, from what I've heard, is cool as well. That's a Pearl Jam jump the shark moment. You know, it's when, you know, you're doing a jukebox song and you're Pearl Jam. You know, it's like I want to hear about being a latchkey kid. And I know you got to grow old and you got to evolve. I get that, but you know, I mean, I want to be alive and even flow and like I was even down with Verses and Vitalogy, like, you know, all those. I followed you all the way through, and then it just stopped.
I know, dude. And even the Verses had some great songs. The Elderly Woman, fuck, bro, that's a great song. I mean, there are great songs on those records, and even Vitalogy, I was like, man, it felt like there was a couple on there that I was like, okay, I can get down with some of this shit. But that to me is when it went left. Like, what the fuck? That one, because I was like, man, they spent a lot of time on the record, like the layout of the record and the artwork and all that shit. And I'm like, what about the songs, bros? Like, y'all need to get in there, get Stone Gossard back in there and have him fucking riff some shit out, dude. Like, it just.
Yeah, that was the album that it was the gray and like embossed and
it was like this ornate fucking this whole like insert, and I'm like, okay, I could give a fuck about that part. I mean, you don't even have that anymore. You stream the shit, you don't have anything even tangible to hold on to at this point, you know, unless you're buying vinyl. You know,
is Pearl Jam in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Fuck, I think they are, man.
They would have to be, right? I mean, you can't put any other grunge band in without having Pearl Jam. I know Nirvana's in there.
Did you see the White Stripes are in as of this year?
Oh, right? Yeah, that was Pearl Jam 2017. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So what about
I thought they were.
So Salt and Pepper. Right? I mean,
the guy
it's Salt and Pepper.
They had the guy at the beginning of the song that's in the song. You know, he did the voice, you know, whatever they say at the beginning of the song. I don't know. I mean, of course, the easy argument for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, what are you doing? That's not rock and roll. But if the president of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I forget his name, every year he would always come on the radio shows and he would explain it. And if you disagree with him, you sound like an ass. You're right. Because it's like it contributed to the music. Who's the one that decides what's rock and roll? What is like, because nobody really can define rock and roll. Like you're going to say the Beatles are rock and roll and Elvis is rock and roll and Disturbed's rock and roll and Iron Maiden's rock and roll and Ozzy's rock and roll. Okay. They're all totally different sounds.
Right.
You know? So
sure. And I'm not hating, but sometimes maybe it should be just the Music Hall of Fame. I mean, because rock and roll, it kind of puts boundaries on who should really be in there, or maybe there should be another Hall of Fame for hip hop, or R&B, you know what I mean? Not to be disinclusive, but just, or uninclusive, like, I don't know. It's just not rock and roll, dude. Rock and roll has fucking got guitars and shit going on, and, and like fucking.
Well, okay.
I just see it a certain way, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
So here's the argument, right? It's always been, at least in my head, rock and roll is defined by a guitar, right? An electric guitar. That's rock and roll. So is Elton John not rock and roll?
He had some guitars going in there. I mean, that may not have been electric. I mean, but there was
Elton John was considered in the 70s rock and roll. So, and then it kind of carried on into the 80s. And I mean, so like, what defines rock and roll? It's just, it's subjective, I guess you can say.
It really is. It really is. I mean, Elton John had there was guitars going, man. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like, it wasn't fucking,
He's in front of a fucking piano. It's just Saturday nights. They're fighting on the piano. There's no guitar. That's what he does.
But it had some edge, some attitude. It had a rockin' beat,
Okay. I mean, you can make
make that argument for anyone to get in there or to not be in there, though, of course, so I mean,
sure. Because then there's people that would argue some of these bands that are rock and roll, like the grunge era is looked down upon from other eras of rock and roll, especially people from the 70s, not necessarily the 80s. People, of course, hate grunge because they think grunge killed glam rock.
Because it did.
No, it didn't. I
think it did, man. Come on. It ended some fucking careers, bro. I mean, you got to know. And Jerry Cantrell said it, or actually, was it Warrant? He goes, yeah, man. We went to the label. It was Columbia Records. And they had kind of felt like they'd been ghosted a little bit by their and a lack of interest. And Alice in Chains it's like, remember I told you the Darkness story when whenever Shine Now went in there and we're like, the intern had made photocopies of our record.
No, I've had this argument a million times. Grunge did not kill glam rock. Guns N' Roses killed glam rock. Grunge killed Guns N' Roses. So people forget that there was a transition between 89 to 92. And that was the Guns N' Roses transition. Mm-hmm. There were these glam rock bands still putting on the makeup and doing all, that stuff. And then Guns N' Roses comes out with Sweet Child O' Mine. Now, remember, Paradise City, he was teased up, but Sweet Child O' Mine was just straight up in your face rock and roll. There was no glam. That was the first time we saw a rock band that didn't look like a woman. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Guns N' Roses killed glam rock.
They almost killed Guns N' Roses though, too. I mean, when he went from doing it that way, now he's sitting down at a piano. It's November Rain, and it's like an 8-minute video. It's like, man, like, I don't know. I kind of liked them when they were sleazy, fucking dirty, doing it's so easy in the fucking club and shit, man. And then solos, and it was more about the attitude and the edge. And had they kept that, I think, I don't know if they would have. I mean, they were still popular through the 90s, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? If they would have kept that Appetite for Destruction thing going for at least a couple more records, I think it would have been a different story. But it's when they went to, like, Axl again, I think the songwriting shifted, didn't it?
Well,
it wasn't just, and Izzy Stradlin quit the band. You know, Izzy Stradlin is the fucking unsung hero of Guns N' Roses, bro. Those riffs, Slash did not write those riffs in a lot of those songs, dude. That's fucking Izzy, bro.
So usually,
and the push and pull between him on one side and Slash on the other side, and the way those guitars came together, that was the fucking sound, if you ask me, man. I mean,
yeah, but the Use Your Illusions 1 and 2, and those that are old enough remember when it came out, was one of the last times we stood in line to get an album, the midnight release. Yeah. That was huge. It was a double CD set, which was very unique at the time. But that was Guns N' Roses, in my opinion, attempt to stay relevant, because remember at that time, grunge had already become a thing. I mean, Axl's friends with Shannon Hoon of Blind Melon. Yeah. You know, he's got him on Don't Cry. He's starting to go plaid, right? Axl's starting to go plaid. So Guns N' Roses, they knew when they saw Nirvana, and that's where that riff, comes in, because they knew, like, you're like, oh shit, like we got a problem here. You know, this is going to be a new genre. So like people forget that the Guns N' Roses run was so short. It was literally these albums that were put out in a fairly short period of time, all within 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that was a block of I consider its own genre of music, you know, from the tail end of glam rock, you know, because I can remember the transition. I remember buying my last glam rock album was Steelheart. And I remember at the CD shop in the Sarasota Square Mall, they had 2 different displays. You know, they had the entrance you'd walk in. On one side, they had the last Steelheart album I bought. I forget which one it was. You know, which, funny enough,
so did the rest of us. Kidding.
But funny enough, Nino is up for a Grammy.
He is, yeah. With Yungblud changes, yeah. Which he fucking, that guy rips, man. I always much respect for him. Like, kidding me?
Oh, he's one of the best guitarists. Yeah,
he's such fucking badass, dude. Amazing. Oh yeah, no one's discounting that. You know, part of that Nirvana thing, though.
Hold on, then the other side was Soul Asylum. So you had Soul Asylum and you had Steelheart. So that was the divide, and then in the middle was Guns N' Roses, right? So that was the divide between the genres of music. So people forget that. They always think it's like black and white. It's not black and white.
But remember, Guns and Nirvana, those were both Geffen Records.
Yeah, they toured together.
So, but they were both fighting for the same attention from the same label. So that whole bye Axl, and Dave's gets in the mic and shit. You remember this? They're feuding with him and shit, and you know, Kurt was kind of a pain in the ass. I mean, he kind of was, but so is Axl. So good luck them two ever getting along, especially in the situation that they were in. But I always remember that shit, dude, when they're kind of fucking with each other. And
he didn't show up, did he? For his when they went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Axl didn't show up, did he?
He was a no-show. Yeah,
I don't think that's fucking rock and roll.
I mean, that's a big middle finger to just about everybody. That's,
you want to talk about being a rock star. If you get in with Shinedown when they're up, you no-show at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you'll go down as a rock star.
Man, that would be tough, though, dude. I mean, you want to be. I would want to be included. I'd be stoked to be included in the conversation and just in the whole thing. So to no-show that shit, I don't know if. I don't have that big of an ego. I mean, that's an Axl Rose move, man. That's a big old fucking.
Well, now it's a Brad Stewart move. All right, you hear me?
You think I should no-show? Hopefully, I'm still alive when it fucking happens, man. Who knows? It could be 20 years from now. We don't know. You know.
So, are you going to no-show or no?
I'm showing up, bro. Especially if we perform, man. You saw what happened earlier when I got to get up there with them, you know, earlier this year. I mean, that was like a defining moment in my career, in my life. That was so much fun, dude. Like, I need more of that. You know, I need more of that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, don't we all? You know,
I mean, that was cathartic, to say the least.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little, I don't know if I should say this. So Shinedown is doing their Lunatic Ball show in Florida. So it's their own festival.
I saw that. Yeah. It's like a on the beach thing.
Miramar Beach.
Miramar. Yeah.
It's a little disappointed they didn't reach out when they needed a host. You know, I was the guy that, you know, kind of helped you guys a little bit there back in the day.
Do they have a host?
They do. Yeah.
Who is it?
Some girl. I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Is iHeart involved? Because I know they're pretty broed up with the higher echelon up in that whole organization.
No,
I mean,
no.
You know, that's political though, man. I mean, I wouldn't get too upset about it because some of these things might be out of the band's control. It might be a management move. It might be
even management. I mean, still even man. I mean, look, I ain't got shit to do. I got all kinds of time. Like, reach out, help a brother out, you know?
Maybe you can co-host. Reach out to him. Say, hey, man, I'd like to be a part of this.
Oh, I did.
Oh, shit. So what did they say? They'd say, fuck off.
Well, I reached out to, I'm not going to say who, but I reached out and I said, hey, man, pretty cool lineup you got there. You know, something happens, you know, always remember the guy that was there at the beginning, you know, I mean, I know I'm not a chick and I don't have a million people on TikTok and all that stuff, but I'm pretty good with that microphone, you know, just saying.
And there comes the politics of, you know.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just,
I mean,
I'm probably not diverse enough or something. Who knows? I have no idea. You know, us middle-aged white males are being oppressed by the minute nowadays. I don't know what to do. So,
man, I can't go there. You don't want to fucking get me started on that shit.
No.
Let's talk about rock and roll, I guess.
All right. So we got the Grammys, we got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. To be honest with you, I'm so out of touch with both of them. Like the Grammys, I don't care. I probably will forget and not even watch. And I think most people are like this, right? They just watch the highlights.
Yeah.
That's why social media is kind of a thing. Late night television's dying because people aren't going to stay up at 11 o'clock at night and watch an entire show when you can watch it on demand and watch the highlights. Nobody cares enough about something like that anymore. You know, it's tough enough in the podcast world. Like I put out these little social clips for all my shows. People think that's the whole thing. All the 60 seconds, they think that's the whole thing. They don't realize it's a whole show. So they'll comment on just the clip, not understanding that there's more context to the clip. And I got to reply back like, hey, dumbass, listen to the show. It'll make more sense. But I go 60 seconds.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem. It's kind of how the world is now, isn't it? I mean, like you look at, legacy media and how they report on things and it's the headline reads, you're like, what? And if you don't read the story, and you just take the headline and you just run with it and you think that that's what happened, you don't really get the whole story. You're really kind of being misled. And you read down to the bottom and it's like, oh, that actually didn't really happen. But they want to catch your attention. Or they want to they know that people aren't going to take the time and actually fucking read through shit, you know, and get the whole story. Well, just like with us, you know what I mean? With our shit on here. The problem that I have is, and it's definitely a generational thing because nobody else cares. But like, you know, I bought all these ideas. Like I was thinking about doing like a 60-second podcast or something. And literally I can just go into Chat GPT, ask it a question, it write it out, script it, come on here, record it, and then produce it and then release it. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, if I didn't write it, if there's no imperfection in there, then it's not real, right? It's too produced. It's too overly done. I just don't think people care. Like this entire show, this show doesn't need us. Like we can literally have AI do this show for us and just write, hey, talk about Grammys, talk about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, talk about Saliva Charity Show, talk about Brad with Leonard Skinner. And it'll put together an entire fucking show. We have to do nothing. It really will.
That's it.
I'm about to list a house for some friends and I'm about to get on Chat GPT and say, okay, a clever, catchy, some verbiage for a MLS listing for 4-bedroom home in Jacksonville. Yeah, and just see what I'm sure it's going to do it better than probably me. If I give it the right information and I can kind of work with it and massage it, and make it sound like a human came up with it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be, at least, the grammar and the way it lays it out. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's hard to beat that shit, dude, especially if you want it to be the best it can be. And
have we talked on this show about my AI theory, or did I do that on the BS?
You did it on your other show, and we were gonna do it, and then you were like, let's save it because I'm doing it on my other show.
Yeah. So, I hadn't released that yet. So I think that came out this week. So next week, if you want to talk about like, dude, I'm telling you, I got this theory about AI and music and what people will eventually be programmed to do. And when I say eventually, I'm talking like within the next 3 years, if not sooner. If it's not already being done now, and I just don't know it, it'll blow your mind. And everybody that wants to fight AI, including me, don't even try it.
No.
AI is the equivalent. Mark Cuban kind of said it like this. AI is the equivalent of when personal home computers came into play. People were fighting it. They're like, computers are going to take over the world. They're going to take our jobs. And Mark Cuban did an interview recently. He says, what we learned with computers is, yes, computers did take a lot of people's jobs, but we learned to work conducively with computers for our jobs. AI is the equivalent to when we went through that, is you have to be able to utilize AI to help your job, so you're not taken over. It's the same thing. That's how big of a deal it is.
It's in everything, and it's been in everything for more than longer than people realize, I think, because it's been sort of just getting woven into the fabric of our culture and our reality, and when quantum computing comes, it's going to be scary because right now it's not really in the hands of everyday users, but as far as even just being able to be hacked, I mean, if there's not enough energy and time devoted into preventing your shit from being hacked, because these quantum computers can figure your shit out in a millisecond and you could be hacked. You know about this, right? I'm sure you. So I'm just sitting there like, good luck. I mean, because you're going to need another quantum computer to fight against it. That can outsmart the other ones, and they're doing problems that would take a regular computer, even a supercomputer, years to solve. They're doing it in 10 minutes or some shit, dude. It's fucking
scary.
Add that with AI. I mean, dude, that's going to be something.
Have you seen The Blacklist?
No, I haven't. What is The Blacklist? What is that on?
Okay, so this show was out years ago.
Okay.
It was on normal television. I missed it. It's got like 20 seasons. It stars James Spader, like from the 80s, James Spader.
I know James Spader. Yeah.
And Andrew McCarthy, his partner back in the 80s, 16 Candles, is one of the executive producers on the show, I believe. Anyway, The Blacklist is James Spader plays this character who's like the most wanted criminal in the world. And he shows up at this secret FBI office and says, hey, look, I'm going to help you solve all these cases from the blacklist. You know of some of them, but a lot of them you don't know. And but I'll only work with this one agent within the FBI. And so you've got all these different storylines going. The main storyline, obviously, is the blacklist. So each episode is a different person on the blacklist and what they do and how bad of a person they are and how they defeat them. The other part is, why is he doing it? What is he getting out of it as a criminal? But then the big overall picture is the agent that he's working with. You start to realize what his relationship is with her and why he's there. Dude, it's like all these different stories going on at one time, but very easy to follow. Great character building, good characters, some of it a little over the top and goofy. But overall, like when you want to talk about quantum computers and hacking and all these different things, and you like these types of shows, dude, and it's got 20 seasons. So you're never running out of shit to watch. With my wife and I, we always run out of story programs. So we got plenty so we're addicted to this show. Absolutely addicted to this show.
I'll have to check it, man. Have you watched Chad Powers?
No interest. None at all.
I didn't. Our friends were like, "You got to watch it. It's fucking funny." And at first, I was like, "What is this?" Like, but then I watched like the first episode, and just with his prosthetic, he looks like a rat, dude. And some of the shit he says, I'm pissing myself. It's funny, dude. There's some funny ass parts to it, And there's only like 6 episodes. I think we're on like ep 2 or 3.
Well, that's from the Eli Manning bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
All right.
He's a producer of the he's one of the producers on the show, I think, or he is the producer of the show. Yeah. I don't know, man. It cracks me up. I didn't want to hate it at first, but I was just like, I just didn't want to. I didn't know what the fuck to think of it, and then there's some scenes that are fucking golden in there, dude. There's some gold shit in there, bro.
Now, I have to use my television time sparingly, and my wife has to approve as well.
Mine too. She didn't get it at first either, but now we were laughing about it the other day, so we'll probably at least watch.
No way she'd sign off on that. No way.
Yeah, anyway. But she's got shows though that I'm like, no, fuck that. There's this one show. It's like about like chicks and almost like Sex in the City all over again. But I don't know.
You gotta watch it.
The fucking name of it.
Wife wants to watch it. You gotta watch it. That's what happens when you get.
I tried. I will. I usually try at least. Give it a shot. But
all right. Saliva news. Anything? You guys no shows until next year?
We actually have a show late December.
Oh.
With Tyler. Is it Tyler Farr? It's like a country guy.
I don't know.
Are you familiar with this guy? And it's like in the middle of
Tyler
Missouri.
Farr? Tyler?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah. It's like we don't have anything until then, Saliva wise, that I'm aware of. And then after that, I think we play in like Chickasha, Oklahoma. And then that'll be it for the year. There was talk of a February, March tour with certain artists, and there's some things on the there's offers, but
I was surprised
until it's confirmed. But now, here it is, almost mid-November. I'm like, if there's gonna be something in February, like a real tour, shit needs to be announced very soon because you want to be at least 3 months out on that shit. Because we learned that lesson even though we knew it was going to be tough for that last tour we just did. There just wasn't a ton of lead time, man, to promote and to get it out there. And then also a lot of the best, let's call it the best show situations in different cities. Those weekend shows that was already taken. We're doing like Monday nights and shit, and weird fucking, it was a little tough. But anyway.
I was surprised you guys weren't announced with the Earth Day birthday lineup.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I heard that you guys are going to be booked for that, but they have 3 Days Grace as the headliner.
Man, it'd be cool to go out with 3 days. They're doing a tour though that next year that I saw too. That we're not on that one either. But no, we are on the Danny Wimmer festivals and stuff. So Rockville, Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
I think we'll get Louder in Life and Incarceration. I think we're going to be on all of them.
That's good.
So yeah, and probably hopefully Aftershock again. That was fucking fun this year, man. I don't know if you saw the lineup for Sonic Temple though. I think it was Sonic Temple. We're on the same stage. We're first, but it's like Tool, and like the lineup's fucking like stacked on our stage. It's the main stage. It's badass.
That's cool. Where's that? What state is that in?
Ohio is Sonic Temple. It's Columbus. It's the old. Remember when there was a Rock on the Range?
Oh yeah.
So it got kind of rebranded. So yeah. So on our stage that Sunday, Saliva, POD, Avatar, Black Label Society, Lamb of God, Godsmack, and Tool.
Wow,
that's a fucking hell of a dude. And even that day, Sunday, it's like Megadeth, Public Enemy. It's fucking like Thrice is on there. It's good, man. There's some death metal shit going on there. Kind of cool,
good, dude. Public Enemy. That's
yeah. In Flames, Anthrax. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Especially on our stage. That's good shit, man.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Now Shinedown's there the Friday before that Friday of the festival. They're headlining the main stage. It's like Stain, Shinedown, Hailstorm, Stone Temple. Ooh, Stone Temple's on that day. Damn.
Who do they have singing for Stone Temple Pilots?
Jeff Gutt is his name. Fucking great. Huh?
Gooker.
Jeff Gutt, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, he's really talented. He was
fucking awesome, dude. Yeah.
He was a reality guy, right? Like he was one of those dudes that was on TV.
Was he? My buddy Saul Trevino, he drives coaches for different. He's driven Saliva, of course. He used to drive Vinny, Paul, and the whole the whole camp. Anyway, he's Dallas based, but he told me, he's like, I know who the singer is. He told me that shit months before it was announced. And I'm like, who? And then I heard the guy, and I was like,
he's good.
Fucking great, dude. Yeah. And then, we played some shows with them too. Cause in Fuel, I had played shows with Stone Temple Pilots when Scott was still alive.
Oh, really?
That was cool. Yeah. That was something where you're just like, and then we Fuel did some shows when he was doing Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts. and I'll never forget, I think we were in Shreveport in North Louisiana, and we had a show, and it was like so Fuel, and then it was Kevin Martin and Friends, so for Candlebox, basically playing, and Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts. I think like Avatar was on there randomly or some shit, and it was a really cool lineup. And Scott, sure enough, but they had kind of like taken some of the STP songs and like kind of fucked with them. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever heard any of the Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts shit, but it was kind of like, damn. But when I saw him with Stone Temple, of course, that was like one of my bands, bro. That's like, like with you and, your glam stuff. I mean, but
Wait.
and I know you like the grunge stuff, but I'm just saying, like, STP, that was one of my fucking bands, bro.
What was that? That glam stuff. What is that? You can't appreciate glam rock. You have to.
I like it. It's okay, but it just wasn't my. It was like someone else's older brother. That was their shit. And I had my shit.
We're the same age.
I know, but I don't know. I was the guy that was on the Guns N' Roses side when he was ending the shit. You know what I mean? Well, I was in that shit, Well,
when and if Saliva goes out on tour with Bret Michaels and the Bret Michaels band, then I'm going to make it a point to get you up there at the end when he brings everyone on stage for nothing but a good time.
Okay.
Put a microphone in your hand.
Okay.
And I will make sure you know the lyrics and you stand side by side.
Dude, I know the song. I get it. I totally get it. I'm just fucking with you, dude. Like, it's too easy.
Sing the song then. Give me the song. If you know the song, go.
How can I resist looking for nothing but a good and don't get better than this? Woo, woo, and all the screams and all the shit. Fucking yeah, dude. I get it. I fucking grew up with it too, man. But they were always like, I was like, man, they went a little far with the makeup and shit, and the fucking Aquanet. They were like as far as you could go with it, man. They looked like chicks. Who was it? Metallica? They were like, man, they were checking out some chicks one time. Like, oh, it's Motley Crue.
I think that was
It was James Hetfield. I swear James was quoted saying that shit. Well,
that dude looks like a lady. That's where that came from.
Oh yeah.
That was Steven Tyler and Vince Steele. Vince Steele was at the bar and he thought that was a chick, and that's where the whole song came from.
Oh man, great fucking song though.
Yeah,
love Aerosmith.
Anyway, all right, let's wrap things up. Saliva.com, Saliva social media, all shows, anything good. We've got merch for this show, jasonbailey.com. Remember, this show is part of 3 different shows 5 days a week on the BPX, is the Bailey Podcast Exchange. If you want other content, you can get all those details on jasonbailey.com. Remember, Tuesday and Thursdays are for subscribers. All I want for Christmas this year is for you to become a subscriber. If you are not, different type of show, different people, different type of content, but still nonetheless interesting and good stuff. And then, like I said, the merch and the newsletter and all of our social media is on jasonbailey.com. All right, dude, you got anything before we get out?
Just grateful. Thank you guys for listening. All you out there. It's good to see you out on the road. When you mentioned that you specific stories and instances from this show to me, it makes me super happy, and to know that, it's reaching people and you guys care about rock and roll and the people that create it, man. So God bless, and we'll see y'all next time.
By the way, Bobby, I knew he told me he was going to do this, but I didn't know he had done it because I hadn't seen it on any other platform. But I saw this just the other night on TikTok. He did, he goes on with his daughter and they sing and it's awesome. He did by himself, Warrant, I See Red.
He did not.
He did, and it is real good.
Did you tell him? You asked him about that, didn't you?
I said, yeah,
I thought you did. You were like, you know what you should do?
I did say that. Yeah, I did.
Or you at least mentioned the song as being one of the greatest. Maybe it wasn't when Bobby was on.
Oh, no, I said Heaven. And he goes, and he said, if he would do it, he'd do I See Red. And I was like, well, that's a good song, but I wanted him to do Heaven. Heaven is one of the best lyrically written songs of all time. It is a classic.
It is.
But he did I See Red. And it is like, his version of that is real good. Like you wouldn't even know it was from a glam rock band. You guys might want to look into that as far as releasing it or something, because it is that good. And they do a lot of covers, but that song which has kind of been under the radar, not familiar, definitely not with this generation, but it's a good, well-written song.
Yeah.
You guys put a Saliva spin on it. Pretty good. Just saying.
Man, you know, stranger things have happened. I mean, there's definitely we want to put out another record next year. I mean, been staying pretty busy putting out songs this year, but like a whole full length album. So we got some work to do. I mean, we're not doing a lot of touring in the next couple months, so I mean, that's going to be like the focus, I think. And I know Bobby had just written with is it Gavin Brown? Is it? He did a lot with the 3 Days guys, 3 Days Grace, and I mean, I think he did Animal That I Become, and also he was, you know, Howard did that Skillet record, and so Gavin also wrote with them, and I think that he wrote their biggest song, that Monster by Skillet. I'm not huge into Skillet. We played some shows with them. They're great people and all, but yeah, so yeah, things are always in the works, man. You know, we got to stay relevant. You got to keep putting shit steadily out there, because people just blink of an eye,
they're gone,
gone to something else, man. You know. So.
All right. Look, appreciate the listen. Appreciate the support. Have yourself a great, safe rest of your day. If you're going to be doing some drinking, I understand. I get it. If you've had too much, please don't get behind the wheel of a car. And sure as shit, don't be going on social media and posting, because you'll lose all kinds of friends that way. Tell a friend, like, share, follow on social. Until next time, bye.
I think we should do a podcast about rock and roll. I got some stories.
That's it for this episode. Check out jasonbailey.com for more shows. Until next time.
3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed, details, and to subscribe, jasonbailey.com.